Hello, Renton. We are happy to have you here with us tonight for episode 27. I am Jennifer, joined by the lovely Ashley and the beautiful Diane. I'm so glad to be sitting here with you two tonight.
I'm so happy to be sitting here with you two tonight too.
I got a little change of scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a pretty big day, actually. It really is. Episode 27 brings us the celebration of National Support Your Chamber Day, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So I want to say it's always the third Wednesday in October. And I mean, I'm digging it. So supporting something that supports a whole community. I mean, I'm giving you a little bit of celebration hands right here. So I think it was interesting fact that I recently learned, Renton has a ton of small businesses, right? I mean, for a community so large, we're really up there. About what did I think the statistic was around 4,000 small businesses? Is that?
We have about 4,000 business license that are issued in the city, and that's business license, big business, as well as your small multi-level marketing, operate out of your house, business, someone having a business license. So 4,000. Yeah.
Well, I think that's fantastic. And then we have the ones that are chamber members that the chamber works day in and day out to support, keep bringing them all the possibilities and all the good feels and vibes that Renton can deliver. So I think that that's fantastic. So I wanted to celebrate you guys today. And here I go again, celebrating with my hands. But I also know that later on in this episode, we get to revisit something that we learned about last week with one of our guests in the Chip In campaign. So I am really excited to click that button and I get to make my donation of my 1 day, 1 hour wages. That's what we're asking for.
I mean, if you're going to give a day, Jennifer, no one's going to say no.
As long as you have a spare room. No, I'm just saying it was so minimal when I found this out. My mind went like this. I was just like, bam, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So yes. And so I get to do that today. I'm really excited that we get to kind of revisit something that was really interesting to find out last week and get busy with that. But first, we have a guest. It's Frank Castro and team from Bickerson's Brewery.
Yes, one of our small businesses in the Renton Highlands.
Yes, so we're gonna. Whoa! Okay, it's the brewery. I thought we were in outside space there.
We're in the brewery. Hello.
Hi, Frank. Welcome. How are you?
Oh, we're doing well. How about you guys?
I'm great.
Great.
Frank, it's great to see you.
Yes, you too. See everyone here.
So tell us what you got going on in back of you.
Well, this is our brew house. It's a 5-barrel brew house. You can kind of see, I'm going to get my finger right. This side's the mash tun. So this is where the grain and water get mixed to make a wort. In simplest terms, sugar water, but wort. And if I turn this way, we transfer it to that kettle right there, and that's the brew kettle. And that's where we boil it, add hops at different times for bitterness or smoothness, or depending what we're trying to go, and sterilize it. And then after that, we will transfer it over to these big fermenters that are over here. We have 4 of them. They're 10 barrels a piece, so about 310 gallons each. And the beer will sit in there where we add yeast, and we'll ferment anywhere from 7 days to 8 weeks, depending on the type of beer that we're making.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. It's all right there when you walk in too. So
it is. Yes. Yeah. You sit right over on that side and you can look here, or even from sitting outside, you can get a good view of what we're doing. And it's a working brewery. A lot of times you come in here. Just this past week, when we were open this past weekend, 2 of the beers were actively fermenting. So you could come in here and actually hear the bubbling and get some unique smells from the fermentation happening.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so you're currently at that, modified phase 2 where you can have inside and out.
Yes. Yeah. We were only having outside for a while, for quite a while. And then once they passed, the weather started changing where we could add a couple menu items, 3 out of the 9 kind of that they gave us. We added those 3 in order to bring people in now that the weather is starting to change. When we had the nice weather, we just kept outside because people wanted to be outside. But now that it's gotten a little chillier, like right now, I think we're probably 50-50 between inside and outside right now. Yeah.
Now today was some crazy town weather though.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then it clears up and it acts beautiful. So
it does. And that's usually that helps. Nice weather really helps people want to come and have an extra drink.
Fingers crossed for a mild fall.
Yes.
So give us a little insight. What's that number 1 seller that's poured daily?
Oh, it's right here behind us. So it's Big Hazy Bee. This is our, kind of looks backwards on the camera, but this is our everyday hazy IPA. It's become our flagship. It's very low bitterness. I think it's only 12 IBUs, and IBUs is the scale for bitterness. Higher, it's more bitter. This is 12. 6.5% alcohol, very easy drink, nice grapefruit citrus notes that you get from this beer. So this is the one that pretty much tank number 3 that I showed you over there pretty much only makes this beer to keep it in stock. Now that we started selling it in cans, we are making this constant to keep up with demand, both here at the tap room and now in cans, as well as a few places that had it at one time outside the brewery.
That is very exciting.
Yeah. That was our first can that we did, that we actually canned and got labels, was this label. This you'll start to see. We're gonna start do more distribution now that cans once were a shortage. Now that they're coming back in stock, that we can get them. We're gonna start. We have a series of beers going to be coming out, starting with our 1-year anniversary on the 9th of November. So in a couple weeks, you'll start to see this kind of design in different colors depending on the type of beer that we're putting in the cans. So that we'll start to see around, mostly in the Renton area, outside of here, or you can come here and pick up a 4-pack of your choosing here at the brewery.
Will that be sold at different stores around town?
Yes, it's at a couple right now. All Things Wine up here in the Highlands.
Yeah.
It's a wine shop. He also has beer. And then it's also, I don't know if she's out of it right now, but I know she has a keg of one of our other beers, is the Brewmaster's Tap Room, which is on the Benson Hill side of Renton. We had a keg at Hop Garden. I know that blew prior to COVID. We just haven't refilled anything back there, but we were kind of sticking in our initial distribution in the Renton area. Marley at the Brewmaster's Tap Room has really been a supporter of ours, trying to help us get off the ground, and has had, I don't know, half a dozen, if not more, of our beers throughout this time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's something to talk about for a quick second. You said your anniversary is coming up on 1 year.
Yes.
So
it's exciting.
So mind-blowingly enough, you've spent longer in business with a pandemic, correct?
Yes, we have. We had we say we had 3.5 months of normal, and then we've had the rest of the time during the pandemic. Yes. So we've been only to go, just outside, inside and outside, then back outside, and then back inside and outside. So we're kind of getting to a little more of that normal feel again. But yeah, it's been a fun year. Let's put it that way.
It's been interesting and chaotic, but
Yes.
I'm going to give you a compliment. Your smile and your demeanor says it all. So true and true, you must really love what you do.
We do, and the
yeah.
community up here in the Highlands, people say it's great that we opened a brewery in the Highlands, but the community has really accepted us up here and has made comments, that we're going to keep you in business and help you out. So we've been real appreciative of the community that we have up here. A lot of regulars that come in, so we're very happy with that. It's
I
really
love
helped.
hearing that.
Yeah.
Nothing makes you feel more accepted and wonderful than when you can walk into your favorite place and know that they respect you as much as you respect them. So I think
Yes.
that's awesome. And
Yes.
yeah, that's great.
And I just have to go over here to say hi to the other Bickersons. That's Sean, my wife, our co-owner. So we're husband, wife. We are not, some people don't know, we are not Mr. and Mrs. Bickersons. We have a married name. The Bickersons just became a name that family or that friends gave to us about 9 years ago, and it's kind of stuck, and that's where the name came from. So people come in and they're like, oh, you guys, how'd you get who's the Bickersons? Where's that line come from? And we're like, nope, it's just a couple name. Yeah.
It's just what we do.
Exactly. Yes.
I dig that totally. I think that's one of the best name stories I've heard yet. So yeah. Yes, and sometimes when you come in the brewery, you will get a piece of the Bickersons, depending what's going on at that time. So it's kind of plays right into the name. Yeah. Perfect.
Love it.
Frank, the cans that you have,
yes,
those started during COVID then?
Yeah, we started in COVID. We wanted to, my mentor had talked about, before you did some distribution and stuff is, give you 4 to 6 months to really understand the system behind me. It took me about that time to really understand and get the beer where I really wanted it to be. And once we get Big Hazy Bee kind of dialed in, then we said, okay, we're going to start with Big Hazy Bee. Found a label designer that we really enjoy working with. He's working on a few other labels right now. And so that's what we went with. Launched Big Hazy Bee, and then the can shortage happened, and we couldn't get more cans. So we had to put some of the labels on hold. We are now stocked up on cans. So we're getting it ramped up. We just got a new label in today, we're getting another one to the printer. Our 1-year anniversary labels are in, so we'll have those coming up. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So but yes, it was a COVID thing that actually, as well as everyone else, that kind of amplified and pushed. If you were thought about distribution, you moved it forward just because that was the way to help sell. People like that quick, grab a 4-pack and go if they forgot their growler or whatever. So that's where we went. So hopefully you'll start seeing a few more over the winter time here.
So it's kudos to you though for having that kind of in process at the time that COVID struck, so you were ready to roll, because we heard about so many other breweries that they hadn't explored this as an option. COVID struck, they couldn't have anyone in. What do they do now?
Right.
And so you had something less the can shortage, a way to step out and transition and sustain. So kudos to you and good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was planning and trying to get, and the brewers industry, they really help each other out. And so there's always emails on people asking, hey, does someone have this little bit of this or have this little bit of that? And so that's how we were able to kind of, get some help from some others until we could get, more established with the cans. And so we were getting trickling in cans. And then about 3 weeks ago, I think we got our back order, and we made sure we back ordered quite a bit in anticipation that this might stick around a little longer. And we were going to do some more distribution in cans over the winter time, seeing that more people with being cold might stay home. People who are still not ready to come inside, we needed to have options for them over the winter time.
And what does a 4-pack of the Hazy Bee run?
So right now, Big Hazy Bee runs a 4-pack for $17. I think, I'm not sure if it's $17 everywhere else, but here it's $17. We do have about a case left. I think about a case of our Black is Beautiful, which is our Imperial Stout. which was a nationwide initiative that everyone made the same recipe or very close to the same recipe, and then you could choose to give money away to your choice of some justice initiative. And so we got about a case left, and we'll be donating 100% of our profits for that beer. So that's a 10% Imperial Stout that we have a few cans left of. So that was the second thing. We had already committed to that, and we had Big Hazy B, and so we had to, split our cans between those two, which kind of slowed the other ones down because we really wanted to donate. We've done that throughout the year. We have a Kolsch that's on sale right now, on tap, not on sale, on tap, which we give $1 for every sale to prostate cancer. I have prostate cancer, so it's very dear to our hearts. So this is the second time we've had this beer, and both times we've donated $1 for every sale to prostate cancer.
I really
Frankie?
admire. Yeah, that's
I
very admirable.
know Jen's going right down the path I was. And you jumped in with both feet into this community, and it's overwhelming for someone to start a business, and let alone start a business, learn a new process, and everything that you've got going on. You joined the chamber, and right out of the gates, we came to you with our holiday gala and said, do you want to be involved? And you said, here's our first keg. And
that's right. You guys had our first one.
Yeah. So you are at top of the list of, jumping in and being a part of the community and uplifting those around you. Yeah. And you made comment about Marley at Brewmasters, and I know Ross down at Four Generals.
Yep. Ross has helped quite a bit as well. Yeah. And Jason at Ducktown as well. Like I said, the community really, really helps. And, Ross had 3 years of experience for his brewery. So he gave us, as we were trying to open, and then Jason at Dubtown, we were right on his heels of opening. So yeah.
Well,
no, go ahead.
You're a shining example of as we get through COVID, of businesses helping businesses, and we're all in this together, and a rising tide raises all ships. Yeah. And thank you for all that you do for everyone around you in the process as you sustain too.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah.
There's a lot of perseverance in this story.
There is
the brewery story. I think that your names of your brews are they're phenomenal.
Yes.
And I just want to know how to get on the naming committee, because that sounds like so much fun.
It is tough. Sean is we have a new beer that will be coming out either tomorrow or Friday, and we were finalizing the name of it, and we got it down to 2. But Sean will just get on a kind of a naming thing, whether with the type of beer or just something that pops in her head, and she'll just go down and name. And so we do have some regulars that come in here that submit their name. Our brew crew that we have, they submit some names, but they all know that it's really hard to beat Sean's naming convention, because she's really good at coming up with the names. So yeah, she's most of the stuff up there is hers. There's probably about 20% that are from brew crew members, but yeah, she's this Big Hazy B just kind of came out of between both of us. B is our son Braden, so we used to call him just Hazy B or Lazy B because he was a teenager. And then his senior year, he grew, and so when we opened the brewery, we're like, well, we have to change it to Big Hazy B because he grew. And so that's where that name came from. But a lot of the other ones are just plays off the type of beer or whatever.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
One more thing, if I could mention, you can't quite see it up here. Let's see if there. So just really good beer is kind of our motto. You'll see it on our cans, on our all around. And Sean came up with that. It's our niece, nephew, son, and daughter, the first initial of their name. So Justin is the J, Rachel, Gianna, and Braden. And so that's the craftiness of Sean to kind of grab each of them and make them a piece of the brewery as well.
Wow,
Yeah.
that gives me all the feels. I mean, that's opening your entire family up to a community,
Yeah.
and I mean, if that's not love, I don't know what is. That's wonderful. Love
Yeah.
it.
No, there's pieces of you guys every step of the way. So thanks for
Yes.
sharing it with us.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We are grateful
Yeah.
that you were able to come on.
And Frank, as we start to fade out here, what we'd love to talk about, and I just sent a note to the voice from above, Farid, who runs our back end, to bring in Gerald Smiley. Gerald, today is support your Chamber of Commerce Day, and so what we want people to do to support our chamber is to support our small businesses and chip in to support the small businesses. And Gerald is he is the founder of Chip In, and the platform that we are using for our fundraising process. And one of the opportunities that we have available is for businesses to help with the Chip In process by donating a discount or a percentage or something. And Ashley has informed us that you have once again jumped in to help out the community by chipping in to offer a $5 discount. If somebody donates $20 to the Chip In Fund, they will select that discount and receive a $5 discount off of their tab at Bickerson's.
That's correct. Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's a fantastic way for you to show your support for your fellow business owners, but it's also a way for promoting your business, and a great way if someone has not yet tried Bickerson's to have that extra incentive to come in and try your beers.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I mentioned before, the community has helped us so much, and so we've tried to make sure that's one of the things that we want to keep doing is giving back to the community, whether it's the Black is Beautiful, whether it's prostate cancer, whether it's something like this for the chamber, to help other small businesses. We're definitely we've been blessed to be here this year, and going strong. So we want to make sure that we're giving back as well.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
and thank you for choosing Renton.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
All right. Have a great night. We look forward to catching up with you.
Okay.
And hearing about all the exciting new things that'll be coming about. I know that you change your menu frequently.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we'll check back in and see what other tasty treats you guys have up your sleeve.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Especially starting November 11th for right after our first anniversary. We're going to have a week-long new beers coming out and stuff for that whole week. Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you,
All right.
Frank.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. All the feels right there. Come on. Beers named after your kids, bringing in your motto after your nieces and nephews. Like, come on.
Naming your business after the fact that you and your wife bicker in a loving way. Like,
that's true,
Yeah.
And you know what? They choose to go into business with each other. We're sitting here bickering because this pandemic has us working from home together. No, just kidding. Joking aside, what a beautiful story. Beautiful place. If you haven't gotten up there, do it. It's wonderful. It gives you all the feels. You feel good, and it tastes good too. I've only had one beer from there, so I'm not quite an expert yet, but I can be.
You're open to it.
We are. Well, I have the two beautiful chamber ladies with me here. We're going to do a check-in.
Makes
Okay.
it really easy.
Yeah.
And we'll fly through these. We enjoyed our conversation with Frank, and so we'll fly through our chamber check-in here. Farid, if you're ready with that, what we will do, where is it? Okay, so Chip In. Everybody knows we've got Chip In going on. We'll hear from Gerald Smiley here in a little bit. You will see posters appearing around town in businesses that have the QR code to make it real simple. Scan it with your smartphone, and it will take you right to that donation page. We currently have the mushroom scavenger hunt that's still happening until October 25th. So pop on to the Chamber Facebook page for your clues and take pictures of your mushrooms and send them into info@gorenton.com. I have toured around the community and found several of the mushrooms in the windows myself, and you can see them all through the windows. We have tomorrow night our community conversations with the DESC, which is the Department of Emergency Services. No, it's the shelter operators for the de-intensification facility. So we'd love to have the nonprofits or businesses in that area join us for that conversation. And you can find more information about that on our website. We have on October 29th, the second in our series of the DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Community Conversations. And those are, this one is again facilitated by Benita Horn. This is in collaboration with the city. And Benita is, she will not say expert, I will say expert. She has the longest history with diversity and equity training, and she is absolutely phenomenal. And we've got some great panelists that will be communicating, and it is an opportunity to learn and grow from one another. And then lastly, we have Ahead of the Care on November 12th, and that is the opportunity that we have to celebrate our caregivers, our nurses, our doctors, our dentists, our first responders. And so you can find information for that on our website too. As to, it is free to attend, join in, celebrate those caregivers, and join us at the Chamber as we celebrate those that often perform tasks as frontline responders and don't ask for much of thanks in return.
Very good. Woo! That was
that was
a record.
Lightning round Chamber check-in.
Holy smokes, look at that. Woo, sparks were flying.
Exactly. Moving quick.
Moving quick. All right, nicely
You
done.
delivered. Yeah.
One thing I will say, just to kind of take it back, knowing that today is National Support Your Chamber Day. And while I have you here, Diane, obviously this chip-in, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. It's, it probably shouldn't be, a once a year type of, event. It should be, continual, because by supporting you, it's really supporting entrepreneurs, businesses, people that are just really trying to make a difference and put down roots in, a city that we love. So I'm excited to bring back Gerald Smiley. He's, got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of passion, and he really inspired me with his, there he is. He really inspired me with what he had to say last week. So Gerald, we have a little segment on this show. It's called Correction Corner. And I wanted to bring you back because, my guy, you're sitting in Correction Corner because you stole our show. So
Literally,
you literally stole our show, but it
I
was,
didn't notice that today.
I like it. It was amazing having you, and I'm grateful to get to sit in front of you again tonight because this chip-in campaign is amazing. Again, it's, today is Celebrate Your Chamber. And, we should be doing that all the time. People that live within the city, we should always be doing that because their job is to bring us the best of the best and make sure when we do have somebody in our city, that they're wanting to give us the best. So let's get started. We get to show that clip again for the chip-in, and we'll get back to you and see what other kind of magic you have up your sleeves.
Amen. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yes.
As a fellow business owner, it's something I've always been proud of. Businesses provide jobs, goods, and services, but more importantly, they provide a sense of place and community. The recent governor's stay-at-home health order has been very important to the health of our residents, but has been devastating to our businesses.
We've lost over 40 businesses so far to date, closed their doors for good. Some were too new to receive support and federal funding, too new with their books, and others the impact was just too grand to recover from, especially now that our phase back has been delayed even again. Our Renton community was hit harder than most as COVID was non-discriminate. We have some pretty major corporations who are laying people off, moving their headquarters, or closing their doors for good. And as a result, not just those companies and employees are impacted, but the surrounding businesses, retailers, restaurants, and the supply chains are impacted too.
To offset this, the city of Renton has allocated $1 million worth of its CARES Act funding. We had 183 grants. The problem is there were over 300 applications and some didn't qualify.
The Renton Chamber of Commerce has partnered with our friends at One Eastside and Chip In to create a platform to raise funds through tax-deductible donations that will in turn help our Renton small businesses to keep their employees, to pay their rent, to make sure that they can keep their lights on. And as part of the Renton Chamber's mission, we vow to continue that support to our local business community, but we need your help. We have a big community with a population of over 104,000 people. And if we all chip in just a little, even just an hour of time at state minimum wage, we can do great things. If only 50,000 people donate $13.20, that's over $500,000 we can generate to support our business. With local businesses, often small businesses, they take great pride in their community name, in their products, in their services, their reputation. Their employees and their clients become an extension of their family, and their community is their home. So please, Renton, let's exhibit that Renton community pride we're known for, and everyone step up in the ways that we can to support our local businesses. Shop local, buy a gift card, treat yourself and order out, and chip in.
Join us and help us chip in.
Join us
and help chip in.
Many hands make light work, and we can do this, Renton, but we've got to do this together to support some of our neighbors who have been the hardest hit. Together we're stronger, and now is the time that we need your help.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of the Renton community, and now it's time for us to chip in.
Love that video. Excellent job. Wonderful meeting. Beautiful. I could watch it twice, and I did.
Yeah, I think all of us here have watched it quite a few times now.
We have.
Yeah, I love what you guys got going. Like I said, we're honored to do this partnership with you guys. We understand what community is. We, the people, are the community, and we all have a part to play. And whether we are a business owner, whether we're a resident, even if I'm a teenager and I have a job, and if I'm able to help my community also, we all have some sort of role to play. But I understand, we understand how much funding there is available and how wide that can spread. And this is a very unique strategy, outside the box thinking method where, literally you can create your own community publicly funded grant to still help one another. And that's what Chip In is. Truly, we're designed to be transparent with the money, what comes in and where it goes, and show the social impact and all the good that's going on in the community. You see, a lot of stuff on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere, or even YouTube. You post something positive and then people can just turn that into a whole negative. But using Chip In, we show the good of what's going on in the community. So we thank you guys for that layer of wanting to think outside the box and what you're doing with the community. And, to speak to that flyer you just showed earlier, I don't know if you're able to go back to that at all, but where you're going to put that up in the community, it's very powerful. And I speak to all the community members, even if you're not a community resident in Renton, but you happen to be in Renton and see this QR code being somewhere. And if you're in a place in your life where you can just scan that QR code, open your camera, and just give what you can with your heart, that'd be amazing and greatly appreciated. One thing that we're going to introduce also, and I want to say thank you to Frank, who was just on, willing to give $5 off whoever chips in. Was it $20 or more, I heard?
That's correct.
Anybody that chips in $20 to help this cause, we're going to get $5 off when you show up to their brewery. Like, this is community. Let's drive business back into these small businesses and say thank you for helping us and thank you for helping the rest of the community. So this flyer that we have here is amazing that you guys done. I love the look and feel. You guys did a phenomenal job, but really want the community to wrap their eyes around that. And when they see that, whether they're in a coffee shop there, they're in a restaurant where you happen to see this with future partnerships coming, you're going to be able to scan that and donate directly to the chamber and get a percentage off your entree right there on site. Or they say, hey, would you like a free dessert? If so, scan here and help your community. $1, $2, whatever that message is. So just get real familiar with that, because we need your support. The chamber needs your support, local businesses and the residents. So one thing also I want to introduce, we just brought on a phenomenal man, husband, father, just man of God. And he's just phenomenal, all the things he does in the community. He's a former Seahawks linebacker. A lot of you guys know him, Joe Tafoya, and he's one of our NFL ambassadors. Him and his wife own the rights to lady12s.com, lady12s.com. I think Farrod's going to pull it up here for you. But we're launching this now around your guys' fundraiser also. Whoever chips in to your fundraiser will receive 25% off their whole site of all of their apparel, which is phenomenal.
Wow.
I've touched it, felt it, looked at it. It's good quality. And they do things right. And they have a philanthropy approach to their business model and the things they do in the community with other aspects. So you're looking on here right now, lady12s.com. Any donation that you make to the Renton Chamber of Commerce, you're going to be able to receive 25% off their whole site-wide apparel, which is phenomenal. So in doing that, any other businesses that are on here that are watching, if you want the chamber and chip in One East Side to help bring business back into you, my call to action would be, make sure you get with Diane, make sure you get with Jennifer, you get with Ashley, and you say, hey, here's what I'm willing to do. And then people can come back and turn their hard-earned dollars into a well-spent time, evening, date night, whatever that looks like in the times we're in, but come back and support you too. So I just say thank you to you guys. I understand what's going on, and not just in COVID. And that's one thing I love about what you touched on, Jennifer, was let's not just do this one time. Like, this is something we can always do. And Chip In truly is, the most rewarding way to fund your community, because you see what you put in and what comes out into your community. And as we continue to build out more features that we release, you're really going to see a bigger picture of what that community piece looks like and how we can help fund each other.
It's so true. Gerald, I just look at it as this: we wrap our arms around these businesses and they wrap it back around us. I mean, we're building something together. We're building community, unity. I admire the guests that we've had on, especially the breweries. They've all been there. It's like all for one and one for all. And that's what community is. I love that. But what really hit home for me last week is when you were going through your presentation of all the small businesses that have already donated. These are the ones that I would say are on the worry Richter scale, especially during a pandemic. My biggest, gushing heart was to see that they looked out for those small businesses without hesitation. 100%. And that warms my heart. That's where I want to live. That's where I want to raise my family. And that's where I want to spend my dollar, is with people that put other people first. I mean, we're not having them, hopefully it was what they could afford and sensible. But what I'm saying is that they thought of others first, and know that this at one time, whether it's in this 2020 pandemic or who knows what comes down the road, or just to build a thriving economy. I think that, this speaks volumes to me. It's like, yeah, I want this for my community.
Amen. And what are we teaching our children, right? To piggyback what you said, what are we teaching our children? And when we leave, our expiration date on earth approaches us, and then it happens. What are we leaving? What are we still leaving for our community? What is there a well-oiled machine with technology wrapped around it that we can still help support each other as time continues to go? This will be the new way to build things in our community that we need. This will be a way where we build schools. This will be a way where we build community centers, things to help educate our community members. We, the people, are the community. So we're not just a fundraising platform to help you reach fundraising goals. This is a community-minded approach of how do we collectively pull together. A lot of people cringe or think like, oh, I heard the word donate, right? Like, no,
Sure.
Donate doesn't mean let's break our savings account and I got to do 500 or 1,000. Can we do micro payment levels? I live in this community. Can we chip in $2, $5, whatever speaks to your heart to say, wow, I helped accomplish this. Look, I helped build that. You look at construction workers, right? They take a lot of pride in the buildings that were built because they helped build that. And when they drive by it, what do they tell their child? I helped build it.
That's right.
So there's a sense of pride that comes with that. So the same concept applies to residents in the community, and a business owner is a part of the residents. So at the community. So the same concept is, wow, even though I only gave $5 to the chamber, or even though I just only gave $6, wow, I helped play my part. And look at this pool of money we really came up with.
I think that it's all a part of the pay it forward. And it's always a good time to pay it forward. And you do what you can. Of course, you don't want to leave yourself in a struggling situation, but honestly, if you want a livable community, if you want to see, better for your community, it's up to us to be involved and to be pillars of the community, right alongside the other community members and the businesses. So, yeah.
I want to touch on one thing to make sure I get it in. I know, respect your guys' time and thank you, but I have to insert this. There's 104,000 people in Renton. If we could just target 50,000 of those people to say, you know what? I want it. I want in. I'm all in. I commit to this Renton Stronger project. I'm going to give $13.50. And we got 50,000 people with that mindset. We're going to collect $675,000 where we can help save these businesses and crush your goal of the 500,000 threshold. So calling on all people watching this right now, can I ask you to commit? Can I ask you to be all in with us with this Stronger Together project and make sure we accomplish this goal? And let's really prove and show this can be done as a community because we, the people, said so. So at the end of the day, I thank you, but I ask every single one of you for that commitment to go to chip in, chip-in.co. You're going to see the second pot featured, which is the Renton Stronger Together project, and chip in $13.50. And then your sense of pride, instead of building that construction building, your sense of pride sits in now and says, wow, I helped accomplish that. I helped do that. So we're heading into Thanksgiving. We're heading into Christmas. A lot of things are coming our way that's going to be even more detrimental, if you will, or more people begin to worry because now we're in the holiday season. People need to eat during Thanksgiving too. So I ask you to be all in if you're watching this, commit. I've donated. A lot of people have donated. I say thank you to all of the people who have. It was very selfless of you, and we appreciate that.
Tonight,
you talk about businesses that are giving of themselves to help support the other businesses. We'd like you to stay on while we bring in Patricia Washington from GenCare. GenCare is one of our chamber businesses. They have a retirement community on the Benson Hill there. And
Hello.
hi, Trish.
Hello.
hi, thanks for joining us tonight.
Great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to represent GenCare and support the Renton community, no doubt.
Amen.
Well, Patricia joined us when we did PPE distributions, and we're handing out face masks and sanitizers, and she is demonstrative of her own commitment, but of GenCare's commitment to support the community, to support the businesses, to do what they can to help uplift those around us. And if you would like, we had a conversation yesterday, and I'm really excited about the news that you had to share, but I'll let you deliver that news.
Diane, how wonderful. Gin Care Lifestyle, for those of you who don't know, is a senior living community. We're one of 6 communities in the Gin Care family. And Renton location, we are on the site of the former Elks Lodge. So many of our Renton seniors have lived in the community, supported these businesses, been here over 70 years. And our owner saw the story on King 5, Leon Grunstein, and said, we've got to help out with this project. So we are donating $1,000 to the Chip In Fund. Go Renton, Renton Strong.
Yes.
Man, you're all in. I love it.
Yes, we are. And we hope everybody else will consider it too. Think about what we're doing. And we want to encourage all of our competitors, all the other businesses who can. It's a tough time for all of us. It's not a time to say, oh, we're flush with money. Nobody is, but we want to help everyone survive this COVID-19. This is a tough time.
We say thank you also because we know the value that you bring to the chamber and the community, but I can tell through your passion and your energy, how you speak, you truly care. And those are the people that community members need in leadership roles, people who truly care, don't just say it to get in that position. Let's really be the grassroots and do that. So I say thank you for locking arms with them as you guys do already, but stepping up to the plate right there and hitting a home run.
Love it. We're happy to do it. Happy to do it. Yes.
Yeah. But Patricia, you guys are always giving back to the community, and in ways that that might be unexpected, and are putting the community first. You guys have an event coming up on Halloween, don't you?
Yes. So Halloween, we want the kid. We know many families are disappointed. There's no trick-or-treating happening sometimes in the local neighborhood, but we're doing a safe, contact-free drive-through Halloween. And our seniors would love for the kids to wave as they go by. If you come by in your cars, open your trunks or windows, we can drop off Halloween treats. And Gin Care believes in healthy snacks. So there's some really good, healthy treats for the kids. And we'd love to have the families join us Saturday between 1 and 3. We're decorating the place outdoors. We have a great roundabout to circle. So we look forward to seeing everyone for that event. And I have to mention, Diane, you connected me with some really good contacts, and we're going to start our food drive starting on November 1st. We're going to work with Sustainable Renton and Renton Lions Club, and we are going to definitely start taking food donations. And so we look forward to helping people in need there too.
That's awesome. I would like to talk with you about that. We're actually locking arms with the Skagit Valley Food Bank, Helping Hands Food Bank also. So I think there could be some synergies also to help spread the word and get more people to chime into the food bank too.
Great. Love it.
Amen.
This is a good news day. I love it.
And this is why chambers are so important, connecting community members to engage and help others. It's evident right here, and it just happened. We got to witness it, guys.
Amen.
Yes.
And can't you just feel the positive energy through it?
Yes.
Amen. Always positive energy, always.
Yeah.
Well, Gerald, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for all that you're doing for not just the chamber, but for the Renton community and for the world that we live in. And Patricia, we are so fortunate and blessed to have not just your donation today, but have your energies and your passion and commitment to the community as part of our team. And we are honored to walk alongside you in these processes. So thank you so much. And thanks for joining us tonight too.
Amen. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a blessed evening. Don't let anybody ruin it today, tomorrow, or never. Don't let anyone ruin it.
Nope.
God bless.
Gerald. Bye,
All
Patricia.
right.
Bye, Gerald.
Bye.
Wow. Guys, that was fantastic, right?
My face hurts. I've been smiling this whole time.
My face hurts too. I was so overwhelmed. Luckily I didn't, do it. I felt it. But no, last week just spoke to me so much. The presentation that Gerald gives, the just the passion in the video, and the way that, we want a livable city for all. So we got it. We got that.
And how cool. We've got the Bickerson's discount. We have the Lady 12s discount. And
Seriously?
those are awesome.
25%? Like, people that are throwing out major sales don't do that. I mean, especially for, Hawks apparel. I don't want to, like, get on a Hawks rant or anything, but, just saying. So yeah, I love it.
Well, you're going to have to keep the Hawks talk down as we pull in the next guest, because I think is he from Chicago originally? Philadelphia.
Well,
Yeah.
he's still kind of a Birds fan. We can.
No,
Okay, so
I'm pretty sure he's converted that he's a Hawks fan.
Okay.
And if he's not, he's at least playing nice, because our next guest is also running our Instagram account at the chamber. And for our very first giveaway, he generously donated a really cool wooden Seahawks sign to give away. Hi,
Well,
Kevin.
I hope he didn't donate it because he didn't want it on his wall.
Well, I never really thought of that perspective, Jennifer.
We can't have one of my favorite new friends not be a Hawks fan. Come on, Kevin. Tell us how you feel.
I support the Seahawks. They are an NFC team. I am from Philadelphia, so you have to appreciate the fact that I am born and bred Philly. It is what it is, but I support them.
I do. And it's another bird, right?
It is another bird.
Birds of a feather. We flock together.
A much stronger eagle bird.
Yeah. I gotta go.
Yeah, no. I'm joking. Oh, I should have hit my eagle sign. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kevin, we're glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yes. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, we are celebrating National Support Your Local Chamber Day, and it's the perfect time to have you on.
Well, thank you for allowing me to come on. I absolutely love the chamber. You guys everybody is so awesome. I wish Patricia was still on here. I'm actually going to be volunteering at the Eagle Ridge and handing out candy with them. And I'll be at the one for the city of Renton on the 23rd, handing out candy as well. Got to show some love for our community. But people that are on here right now, people at Gen Care, because of the business that I'm in with senior care, they have not seen a lot of people that, if they don't have family, haven't seen a lot of people because of COVID. So if you can just do that drive through that loop and just wave, you have no idea what that would mean to these seniors. Just if you got 5 minutes in your day, just go through, beep your horn. I'm sure that they will absolutely love it, but it's something that could really lift the spirits of that community. They're great people over there. I miss them. I really do.
Aww. Actually, Kevin, when we spoke about you volunteering for the city's drive-through, that was one of the things that you were the most passionate about. And, I've seen you around, and I finally got to be face-to-face with you at our food drive, and you just exude love. It's so infectious. Like, I think after you were there, everybody came to me and said, "Who is that? And can we have 5 of him?" And I'm like, well, no, there's only one. But the good news is that he's willing to give 100% of himself, all in, all the time. And when you mentioned that of, the possibility of us letting the bus come through, things like that, we welcome that. But also, it's your heart that I welcome the most, is that you were so thoughtful first of how you could actually make another generation smile, and to feel the feels that these young people are feeling as we throw candy at them, and hear all's what these our elders want is just to see, not that they can be face to face, or we all can be at face to face, but just to have a wave and a quick hello. So I thought that was amazing.
Well, I appreciate that. One of the things, I feel blessed. I love, what I do with Visiting Angels. This is where I'm meant to be. And the thing that, being an essential worker, ever since this hit, I'm still out and about every day. So, sometimes we're like, oh, we're out, but we don't think about what it's like to be in one of those buildings. And like I was telling my wife the other day, I was at Talbot in Renton, and I had a moment where like I had to walk away because it's like I just keep seeing like families separated by glass, and it's heartbreaking, and it's like if we could just do a quick drive through or just write a card, send something to them, it would mean the world to these people because, we're all dealing with a really rough time. Imagine knowing that you're in that group of people that are so affected by this disease. They're afraid to go out, and it's just a scary time. But together we can absolutely everyone lift their spirits. We have a phenomenal community. We really do. I feel blessed here. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Kevin, you have a spirits giving heart, and last year we were able to celebrate you as one of the nominees and our head of the care for the work that you do with seniors. Tell us a little bit about Visiting Angels and what you do.
So what we do, the big thing that I like to explain to people, there's home care and there's home health. And home care, what we do is we go in, it's non-medical, but it's more companionship. And that's one of the things that I wanted to really talk about because of everything that's going on. A lot of folks, they're stuck in their home and there is a huge cognitive decline because of the fact that they're not interacting with people. So it's so important that, they have companionship. And that's what we do. We go into the home, we do cleaning, food preparation. We can run them to the doctor, to the pharmacist, do errands, medical reminders. We bathe them. We do all of the things that, people want to do, to stay in their home and keep them healthy. And we work with like Valley Hospital. We get a discharge plan of care and we stick to that. And so we keep them out of those, going back, being readmitted back into the hospital, keep them home, keep them safe. But more importantly, just having that one-on-one connection, where it's in their home and it's a safe place to be because it's, not a million people aren't coming in and out. So that's what we do. We are Visiting Angels. We're nationwide, and we've been servicing the Renton community for 16 years, almost 16 years. So it's an awesome, it's not a job, it's a passion. Like I love what I do.
It's very evident. You do it all the time. You're constantly caregiving for other people, whether you realize it or not.
Well, I love people,
It kind of shows. You're kind of a big deal.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I don't do it for any other reason than my personal story is I was a family caregiver. Sorry. I took care of my mom and I just love people. And if we can, sorry, I didn't think I would get emotional, but.
Hey, all of us have cried on the show too. So you're in good company.
Well, it's just, it really isn't a job. It's like when I can see, that we've helped someone stay in their home. Like we've got some people that have been, Boeing employees, 30, 40, 50 years. And they've worked so hard to live here in Renton, and this is where they want to stay. We just want to keep them in their home. And it's just, it's truly, it's just a passion of all of ours. The people that we have, it's like one of the first questions that we ask someone that's a potential person that's going to be a caregiver. It's like, why are you here? Like, if you're here to be a caregiver just because you can't work at A or B, we don't want you. We want the person that says, it's in my heart, because you're never going to be a millionaire. You're not going to be, and in the medical realm, it's like, you have a doctor here, you've got nurses, you've got people think of them at the farthest scale of the care plan. But honestly, I think that they're all heroes to me because in all of this insanity with COVID, I mean, caregivers don't call out. They're there every day. They're putting themselves on the line to take care of these folks and keep them in their home and keep them healthy. We had a client that left Valley, who had a kidney transplant, and the caregivers went in. It looked like Breaking Bad, like full hazmat in the middle of CHOP. And with all of that insanity going on in Seattle, they did not care. They were going to go there and take care of the client. And that's what we're about, just keeping people safe, keeping them home, and giving them that love and interaction and tenderness that every human being needs. And especially right now with everything that's going on, it's so much more needed. So I talked about it. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. One of the things that, you obviously it is your passion. You got yourself a little choked up. You've been in those shoes, you filled big shoes. Not everybody, and it's okay, not everybody is cut out for this. That's why services like yours, Visiting Angels, is so relevant to have. I know this. I've been in a situation where I've had to step in, and it's hard. It's harder than you'll ever know. And what you said is heroes. Yeah, 100%. So it is phenomenal to know that there are agencies, out there that can fill that void for families, who can't be that person, that caregiver. It's much harder than we realize.
Yeah, it is tough. And one other thing that I would like to mention, and I feel bad because I really do try to be love and light and happiness, and all the things that I'm talking about are a little depressing. But because of the world situation right now, the amount of domestic abuse in the home has gone up. Child abuse has gone up. But one thing that we don't think about a lot is elder abuse. And I see that a lot. Not, obviously, none of my people are elder abusers, but we've gone into situations where I've actually had to make a call to Adult Protective Services and to the Seattle Police Department and Renton Police Department. They're amazing. With all of this going on, sometimes the stressors, the rigors of the day can really get to people because maybe they've lost their job and they're taking it out on mom and dad because they have cognitive, decline. They have Alzheimer's and dementia. And the one thing, like, we go out to take care of clients every day in the home, but sometimes I'll sit and I tell the family, we're not here just for them. We're also there for you.
Right.
Because families need respite. And anyone that's listening to this, like, if you're getting aggravated or you're stressed out or angry, don't take it out on mom and dad. Pick up the phone, ask for help, because we'll help you. That's what we do. So
That's what I love the most, is that there is help for people, for everybody.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
Kevin,
the
you
work
have
that
been there as an offered resource. Just if when people have questions, I have been able to send them your direction, and you have been an amazing resource, whether you provide the care or you point them in the direction of the care that they need. And you are always willing to give of your time and your knowledge. And thank you for that.
Well, it's the only way I can finish my parole. So I'm joking. I'm totally joking. They're like, I was going to use his services until I found out he was a felon.
Because I still had
I had to add some comedy.
Yeah, you balanced us out there. Thanks.
Yes.
I will say though that in the comments, someone has said, let's normalize not apologizing for crying. You're 100% valid in your emotion and passion, whatever that looks like. So, yeah, and we would have to agree.
That was a Zoom glitch. I did not cry. No, you know what? I'm. Everyone teases me because I'm this big guy, bald-headed guy with earrings, but I wear my heart on my sleeve. I am who I am. I do not make any, life is too short not to share what's inside. Like, I'm not bottling it up. I feel, and I honestly believe that when I go out and talk to a family, they understand that there's empathy there. If you're one of our clients, you're not a name, you're not just a number, you're a person. I want to get to know you. Like, we love our folks. We really do. When you come into our office, we have a wall of fame that's like all of our clients over the years, a woman out there that's 103 years old. One of my best friends, John, who I took to a Mariners game. He unfortunately passed during all of this COVID, not from COVID, but just almost 100 years old. And they're my friends. You know what I mean? Like, I feel blessed because I get to meet some of the most amazing people and just listen to their stories and I get so much life lessons from these people, like never to go to bed angry. Just life is too short. It's just, you know what? Listen to our elders because you know what? They've been there. As a kid, you never want to listen, but truthfully, they're awesome. Listen to your seniors.
I agree with you 100%.
Thank you. Sorry if I talk too much.
No,
Not at
we're
all.
grateful. We're grateful for your big arms that wrap around all those individuals that need you and your team, and all the benefits that you do with other agencies, getting involved, stepping up where you can. You have when I look at someone like you, I was like, hey, that's integrity, doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
I appreciate you. And I honestly, I appreciate everybody, what you guys are doing. From the moment that I talked to Diane, and that the number keeps sticking in my head, the 41 businesses that have gone out of business. And the fact that you guys are done your day, but your day isn't over. You're still doing this to try to encourage people to do things for our community and make things better. So thank you to each and every one of you, because if we don't have businesses, our town falls apart. And you guys have all stepped up, and I want to let you know that I'm going to do the chip-in program as well as my wife. So we want to, give back to this great community that we live in. And again, thank you for all that you guys do.
Oh,
Thanks, Kevin. You are, and thanks for joining us tonight and for all you do. You are truly an angel, and we are blessed to have you walk among us. Thank you very much for everything that you do.
And if I could say one more thing, I do run the Instagram page for the chamber. And if you guys, anybody out there wants to send me stuff so I can promote your business, please just tell me. It takes like 2 minutes of my time, but I'd love to promote if you have a sale coming up or a special promotion or something that I can do to help draw attention to your business. Let Diane or Ashley know, or myself, DM me right through the Instagram page, and I will get it out right away for you, because we're all in this together.
those videos are hilarious.
I love them. I love it. Makes me so happy. You have no idea. Photoshopping Diane into a psycho pumpkin carver made me laugh out loud. I love it.
Right.
Yeah, that
outstanding
Halloween
job.
quarantine-oween video that you put us in the other day, I have it stuck in my head. So thanks a lot for that.
How about the visual with Kevin coming up with the whipped cream on his head?
It's a good look. It's a good look.
Well, thank you
Kevin,
so much for being here tonight, Kevin.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.
You too.
Good night. Oh, that's one of the good guys. I mean, honestly, that was my favorite thing about our food drive, I think, is when he rolled up in his little visiting angels car that's about this big, and out came this, array. Talk about a ray of sunshine. How can I help? What can I do? Where do you need me? What more do you need? And I'm like, wow, are you from Mars? Fantastic. I think we have an ask for pumpkins. This is our last ask, isn't it?
Yeah. So today is the last day to get your pumpkins in for something very exciting. Something spooktacular is happening next week.
Spooktacular. So those adorned gourds, we want to see pictures, right?
That is correct.
If they're blinged out, carved out, whatever it is, we need to see them.
Yep. And do you remember that email address?
I do. You just send a picture, you snap a picture and you send it to info@gorenton.com.
Amazing. There it is. And it's also in the chat box. So
it was in the chat box, but you still made me say it?
yeah, I'm testing you. Seeing how we'll test David next time.
Yeah, do it.
Well, we still have a little bit left of this show and we're over 7 o'clock, but we hope that you guys stick around because up next.
Absolutely, because we are going to give ourselves a mental health check-in, right? We could
That is
all use
right.
one. Yes.
For sure. Yeah, we are joined by Avanti Bergquist and Whitney Erickson. Hello, Whitney. Hello, Avanti.
Hi.
Oh, the whole gang is there. Hi, everybody.
Bergquist kids wanted to watch.
One of the
Those
Berkman
big
kids
kids.
looks a whole year older than the last time we saw her.
Yes. Did you have a birthday? Yes. How old are you?
7. Last time I saw you, you were 6.
Oh my goodness, these kids are getting ginormous.
Are you guys getting so big? You're
Yeah.
so tall.
Love it.
Also, the next birthday is our cousin's.
Nice.
That's exciting.
I'm going to
Yes,
celebrate
your
that.
Day is in December.
Love it.
And the cousin's brother,
And then our other cousin.
and then me.
And then you. How
What
old
month-
will you
what-
be?
How old are you going to be, Bubba?
5.
Holy
Oh
smoke.
my goodness.
And I want to be in Miss Lee's class.
That was sister's class last year.
We just found our new host.
Yep.
I
Sounds like a plan. Did you say hi to Whitney? Do you remember Whitney? Hi, Whitney.
Hey, guys.
Hello, Whitney.
You remember Whitney worked
Hi.
with Mommy? Yeah, she's a therapist. Do you remember where we work? Eating Recovery Center and Pathlight Mood and Anxiety Center. I'm sure you knew all of that, right?
Well, some of our viewers might not know, so thank you for reminding us all.
Yes.
Yes. It's a mouthful. The kids did not know that.
So
I
you
knew it a long time ago.
A long time ago. So we wanted to invite our friend Whitney today,
Yes.
Health Talk, to talk about LGBTQ plus mental health.
I think that's a great thing to talk about.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Plan?
Whitney, welcome to the show. And we are excited for what you're about to tell us.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I wanted to talk about the intersectionality of mental health in the LGBTQ community. And to kind of set the stage a little bit, to be able to talk about it, I wanted to talk about what intersectionality means. It's a theoretical framework for understanding how aspects of a person's social and political identities combine to create differing modes of discrimination and privilege as we navigate our experience in the world. Intersectionality really defines advantages and disadvantages that are felt in our experiences as we navigate the world due to a combination of factors based on how our different positionalities and identities interact and intersect with one another. So an example of intersectionality is, for me, in my racial identity, I'm white, which is an identity where I experience privilege. And I'm also gay, which is an identity where I experience oppression. And so I have lots of other identities as well, but that's just one place where you see that I'm carrying around both of those identities all of the time. And the intersection of that identity impacts my day-to-day experience. And that's the same for all of us. And so when we talk about the intersection of mental health and the LGBTQ community, it's important to know how these different positionalities impact our experience. And so we have to know what those different identities are. I want to also name that race is a really important identity to be aware of. So basically, when it comes to mental health, anyone who's not white in our country, in the United States, is going to experience oppression when it comes to mental health. And so from the get-go, they're going to experience more negative mental health outcomes from race alone. And then as we talk about LGBTQ issues and mental health, those are additive layers that add on increasing oppression.
And we know there's already stigma for mental health, right? So it's
yes,
adding race on top of that, and then any LGBTQ identities, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think So talking about intersectionality and having that awareness and understanding, and then having awareness and understanding of just some terminology in the LGBTQ community and some terms that I'm going to use as I talk about some of these things. So one of the things that I want to address first is there's a lot of like misnomers and myths out there about the LGBTQ community. And one of them that I think heterosexual or people that identify as straight come across a lot, if they don't have anyone as LGBTQ in their inner circle, they might think, well, I don't know anyone who's LGBTQ. And what I want to just name is that you may not know anyone who's out to you, but you likely do know at least one person, and probably more than one person, because the research suggests that at least 10% of the general population is LGBTQ. So some other terminology that I want to set out there is that there's the difference between gender and sex. So unfortunately, there didn't start to be conversations about this in our country until the 80s. But what we talk about now, and what's really important to know when you're interfacing with people in the LGBTQ community, is that there is a difference between gender and sex. And so we have biological sex, which is what is assigned at birth based on physical genitalia. And then we have gender, which is someone's internal experience. And we have gender identity. And so how someone identifies in terms of gender identity, that could be male, female, transgender, that could be non-binary, that could be gender non-conforming. And those are terms that people are identifying for how they experience their gender. And really important that we challenge the binary of gender as well, that it's much more than just male and female.
Can I add in about gender that when we were watching beforehand, Anjali kept asking, well, does that person, do they go by she or he or something else? And I was like, you're doing such a good job. It's never like we need to be teaching our kids right away, right? That, everybody identifies in different ways and we can't assume by looking at somebody what their identity is, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
Good job.
So we have gender identity, and then we have gender expression. And what gender expression is the way that someone expresses their gender to the outside world. So for example, for me, my gender identity is female. My gender expression is androgynous. And so what that means is that it's a mix of feminine and masculine expression. So I wear makeup, which is more of a feminine expression. I have short hair, which is more of a masculine expression. And I buy most of my clothes in the men's section, which is more of a masculine expression as well. And so the mixture of that, where I'm leaning into both sides of the gender binary, means that my gender expression is androgynous. Along with gender, I also want to name that how someone identifies in terms of gender is completely separate from how they're going to identify in terms of sexual orientation. So a lot of people will assume that if someone is female or if someone is trans or if someone is queer, that they might have a specific sexual orientation. And we really want to leave it to the individual to tell us how they're identifying in terms of gender expression, gender identity, and sexual orientation. Anything you want to add to that, Dr. Bergquist?
I was just wondering, what's the best way to find that? Like, how do we talk to somebody, or what do we do? Because we don't want to assume, but we do want to know, we want to learn about people and we want to know more and be friends. So what's your advice for that?
In terms of just all of it, Dr. Bergquist?
All of it, Whitney. No, as much
as
you.
Yeah, I think that as someone who identifies as an ally, which is going to be someone who identifies as heterosexual or straight, and also someone identifies as cisgender. So someone whose gender matches what the biological sex was that they were assigned at birth. Is to really leave it to the people in the LGBTQ community to come out to you and to leave it to them to give you the language to use. And so I think it's really important to just be aware and listen and pay attention to how they're describing themselves and how they're describing their partner, their significant other, how they're describing their relationships. And people in the community will give you information as they feel safe and as they feel like they can trust the interaction. And so I think the best course of action is to create safety and openness. And I'm going to talk more toward the end about like things that allies can do and to create more of that safe space.
Awesome. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so moving into mental health. So talking about mental health, and then I'm going to go through some of the things that pop up for the LGBTQ population under the umbrella of mental health. So mental health in general, we all experience emotional ups and downs from time to time caused by, different events that are going on in our lives. What we want to be really specific about is that mental health conditions, mental health diagnoses go beyond just these emotional reactions to specific situations. These are medical conditions that cause changes in how we think and feel and in our mood. Anything you want to add to that, Dr. Bergquist?
I think what I tend to add is that, we all have our ups and downs. And if it's affecting your ability to function in your life, do the things you like to do, do your job, take care of your kids, then that's when it becomes a disorder and a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we all have ups and downs. And right now a lot of us are feeling really sad and anxious with the pandemic and talking about social injustice. But if you're able to do the things you need to do and still enjoy stuff, then it's not really a disorder.
Yeah. So the LGBTQ community faces mental health conditions and diagnoses just like the rest of the population. However, the LGBTQ community experiences more negative mental health outcomes due to prejudice and other biases, and we're going to talk about that. LGBTQ individuals are almost 3 times more likely than their heterosexual peers to experience a mental health diagnosis. So not just the normal ups and downs that Dr. B was talking about, but actually, needing support for a mental health diagnosis. LGBTQ people have to confront stigma and prejudice based on their sexual orientation or gender identity, while also dealing with the societal bias against mental health. So this is where the intersection is really impactful, because it becomes a double whammy of not only dealing with the societal stigma around sexual orientation and identity, but also the stigma that's already out there around mental health. And a lot of times people in the community within the mental health system, when they're seeking support or need support, will hide their sexual orientation or gender identity from those in the system because there's so much fear of being ridiculed or rejected, especially if they're youth and are living in an invalidating environment or living in a non-affirming home. The LGBTQ community is at a higher risk for suicide because the community lacks peer support, and faces harassment, prejudice, bias, and substance abuse. For LGBTQ people aged 10 to 24, suicide is one of the leading causes of death. LGBTQ youth, so anywhere from young kids up to 18, are 4 times more likely to have experienced attempting suicide, suicidal thoughts, or engaging in self-harm as compared to their heterosexual peers. And another really important factor is family support, which I kind of touched on a minute ago. But when it comes to suicide, family support, we see in the research that it is super important in impacting the likelihood of suicide. So someone who faces rejection after coming out to their family, whether they're adult or whether they're a youth, was 8 times more likely to have attempted suicide than someone who was accepted by their family after revealing their sexual orientation. And so how these LGBTQ people are received by their family in particular really correlates with depression and suicide. Look at anything you want to speak about there, Dr. Berquist?
Well, I think, you know, because the kids decided to join me today, it just makes me think of, you know, we talk with them about, you can tell mom, dad anything. You don't keep secrets from us. And, you know, you just tell us what's going on with you, and we'll talk about it, right? Yeah. And that's what we would hope everybody out there in the community is going to do with their kids, whatever age their kids are.
Yeah. So many LGBTQ youth, one of their biggest fears, where a lot of their fear is coming from, is from the community and from their peers, but the most fear comes from home. What's going to happen at home? And it really leads to an increased risk for self-harm and suicide. So what Dr. Berquist is talking about, and having those conversations as soon as your kids are able to engage in them, is super important. If we look at substance abuse with the LGBTQ community, they report higher rates of drug, alcohol, and tobacco use than their straight peers. Some major contributing factors to why the LGBTQ community is more vulnerable to substance abuse is, again, prejudice, discrimination, lack of peer support. And then another big one here is a lack of cultural competency in the healthcare system. So what this is highlighting is that our healthcare providers, our doctors, nurses, psychiatrists, therapists, dietitians, anyone who's in the healthcare system, they're not educated about the LGBTQ community, and they're not educated about LGBTQ issues. So when they get someone in their office or in their clinic or in their treatment center who is LGBTQ, they don't have the knowledge about this huge chunk of this person's identity that is impacting their experience. An estimated 20 to 30% of the population abuses substances, which is compared to about 9% of the general population in our country. And then 25% of the LGBTQ population abuses alcohol specifically, compared to about 5 to 10% of the general population. So as you can see, that substance abuse becomes a coping skill for that discrimination, bias, prejudice, etc. Another impacting factor is homelessness. LGBTQ people, especially youth, are highly overrepresented in the homeless population. Up to 40% of homeless youth identify as LGBTQ. And again, the general population is only 10% LGBTQ. So of that, 40% of those homeless youth are identifying as LGBTQ. And there's a lot of information out there about how transgender individuals have been turned away from homeless shelters solely due to their gender identity, so solely due to being transgender, or have been subjected to verbal, physical, or sexual abuse because they're forced to stay with members of the sex they were assigned at birth. This is particularly problematic for transgender women. And again, I want to highlight, as we go through substance abuse, homelessness, suicide, I want everybody to remember that race is an additive factor in all of these as well. 19% of those who are transgender or non-conforming have experienced homelessness at some point in their lives. I'll pause there. Dr. Berquist, anything you want to add about substance abuse, homelessness?
Just it has me thinking about, you know, we have all talked about my dream for Renton is that, you know, we all, our community taking care of each other. And so this just makes that argument, right? That, you know, we really just want to talk to our community about people who may be struggling to come out, to feel accepted in their families, and we want to be a community that is supportive for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And I'm realizing we're really over time.
Oh yeah, almost done.
Okay.
The last thing that I want to talk about is eating disorders. So Dr. Berquist and I both work at Eating Recovery Center. And so we're treating people, we both work on the child and adolescent unit, coming in, treating kiddos and their families with eating disorders. People in the LGBTQ community experience eating disorders at a higher rate than their heterosexual peers. Among males who have eating disorders, 42% of them identify as gay. Females, people of color, and Black individuals who are also LGBTQ report a higher prevalence of eating disorders. And some of the vulnerability factors for why someone who's LGBTQ would be more likely to develop an eating disorder is that fear of rejection, increased experience of trauma for being LGBTQ, and the internalized negative messages that we get due to being LGBTQ. So finding a provider. So if you're someone who is struggling and is resonating with these experiences, and as we're looking as a community to help be a resource for some of these issues, if you're looking to find a provider, find someone who's going to take into your account your personal experience and how that affects your mental health. Find a provider you can trust. You should feel comfortable with them as an LGBTQ individual so that you can feel safe, someone who's affirming, and someone who's educated about LGBTQ issues. And feel free to ask them questions. I'm a therapist. I want people to ask me about my experience working with what's important to them. So for LGBTQ, ask the provider's experience about what their experience is working with LGBTQ people. Some resources for the community and for education and for treatment. For those of you wanting to be an ally and wanting to turn up your ally game, come out as a supporter. So those of us in the LGBTQ community have to come out all the time. So what I would encourage allies to do is, if you're an ally and you want to be an ally, come out as an ally, come out as a supporter. Use your social media to let people know that you are someone who's safe for the LGBTQ community, and you are someone who's going to challenge bias, prejudice, and stigma. You are someone who's going to name when the wrong pronouns are being used. You're someone who's going to name when there's stigma and prejudice happening around you, and affirm the LGBTQ community out loud. Follow and support LGBTQ media and social media. There's pflag.org, which is a website that you can go to that has support groups all over the country, and by location, where if you're a parent or a family member or a friend of someone who's LGBTQ, you can go and be an ally and find ways to support it. GLAD.org. I love this website because it has postings on there all the time about tips to be an ally, tips for how to be an advocate for transgender folks, tips for what to say when someone comes out to you. HRC.org, the Human Rights Campaign. This is a wonderful organization to support and donate that always supports LGBTQ issues. And then I wanted to make sure, because suicide is such an issue in the community, that there's the National Suicide Prevention Line. And then there's also the Trevor Project. So the Trevor Project is a national 24-hour toll-free confidential suicide hotline specifically for LGBTQ youth. And there's also an online chat and confidential text messaging number as well. All the information that I shared with you today comes from NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And so grateful to be able to share.
We are so grateful to have you join us, and we're really excited when Avanti had mentioned bringing on a special guest, and especially with not only the topic of mental health. We've had Avanti on, we've been trying to do it about once a month to have a mental health check-in, but especially adding in those other factors. We would love to have you on again to have a deeper discussion as well, and to better educate ourselves and to better educate our viewership as well. no, it's so overwhelming, the numbers that you shared and the statistics, and it's a lot to digest. So I thank you for taking the time to go through everything with us tonight and to break things down in a really simple to understand way. There are some things that I think people can get confused about, or, you know, they don't have to deal with necessarily themselves. So it isn't something that they're very, you know, educated on or know about. And I think that you broke things down easy to digest for what it was. It was a lot to digest, but it was easy. So thank you so much, Whitney.
Well, thanks, Ashley. Appreciate that.
I totally agree. And thank you for giving people grace that are, you know, unaware of how to approach or ask or how to feel. You know, it's nice to know that, you know, somebody can speak with confidence to me and tell me, let somebody gain your trust, let them begin to respect you so that you can fully respect what they're going to tell you. So I love that. And then also, Avante, yeah, it all starts at home. And we're never too young. It all of it starts out.
Hey, Sissy, can we come out as being allies? Yeah? Anybody can come talk to us? All right. We're here. We're allies. Although we don't know what sexuality the kids are yet, but
yeah,
so far, they're cisgender so far, but we're still learning.
Still learning.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you both for joining us. And thank you to our viewers who stayed tuned. That was the expect the unexpected. That could have been a whole show. And I think that that's a great thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And also that information that was given out is very powerful. So especially for, like I said, those of us that are just unsure of how to approach, I love it, but just be honest, give the time people need, and it'll be a better place for sure. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Whitney.
You
have to come back because Anton fell asleep, and so he needs to hear it next time.
Well, and Whitney, thank you for joining us. Dr. Bergquist, always a pleasure to have you join us and do the mental health check-in. Whitney, your messaging is so powerful today. We're piggybacking off of September, which is Suicide Awareness Month, and we're into October, which is LGBTQ History Month, and there's all of these awareness. You talk about providers, and I would be remiss not to mention that here in Renton we have Dr. Eamon with Udall Family Healthcare.
I was gonna say. Mm-hmm.
She is, from the minute I met her, just everything that you want in a physician. You know, she spoke about how when the insurance company started talking about she needed to limit her time with patients, and she said, that's not why I became a provider. And the Udall Family Healthcare is a leading provider in the gender affirming hormone therapy, and like you said, have a relationship where your doctor and your physician understand, and how important that can be. And the feedback that we receive from her patients is just phenomenal. And the messaging that you've brought today to us, thank you for reminding us of what a trying time it is, and the layers of oppression that people feel, that we need that reminder of what people are going through right now.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And again, we expect another invite. So thank you so much, Dr. Bergquist. Thank you so much, Whitney. And we'll see you at our next mental health check-in.
Everybody,
Great.
go start breaking down those barriers, right?
Thanks for inviting me, Dr. Bergquist.
Thanks for coming, Whitney.
thank you. You guys have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, that was a lot of fantastic information.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really important. Yeah, we could have done a whole hour on that.
Yeah.
Right?
We really could have.
What a success show.
I think there was a consistent theme aside from everybody chip in, we do our part. It's community and caring and that mental health and
Yeah.
how together we can make this world a better place and we can get through this together and providing that compassion and uplifting and looking out for your fellow human being.
Absolutely. And I love that Whitney was able to give people out there that might not have the know-how or the confidence to jump in, to understand, to help. She gave the tips for them to do that. And I think that's beautiful. It all starts with just a little bit of kindness. So, yeah. Well, successful episode 27. If
Yeah.
everybody can make it through episode 28, if they're not too sleepy, they might be sleeping. We'll be back next week, right?
We have something pretty exciting next week, so let's hope they're not sleeping.
Yeah, if you miss next week, you could end up on the naughty list. I'm not saying anything threatening, but I'm just saying, you could end up on the naughty list. We are very excited and we hope to see you all. And from all of us, we hope you have a fantastic evening. Anything else?
We'll see you next week.
See you
All right.
next week.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.